Streaming from Madison, Wisconsin and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Straight to your personal devices. Available on all major platforms and YouTube. This is the Armchair Analysts podcast. And here are your hosts, Ace and Johnny.
Welcome back, listeners. Ace and Johnny here for another episode of Armchair Analysts podcast. We are here. We are excited to be here. Ace is using his potato computer to do the best he can to record the show on his end there in Minneapolis. Ace, how's it going there?
It's a little slow, apparently, processing-wise here. I might be getting throttled from all the network activity that the new TCO Viking Center is taking up. I'm not sure, but we'll diagnose this for next week.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a rough show. Might be a little bit shorter. Maybe I'll do most of the talking. Wait, I always do that. All right. This week, no fun interviews. Hoping to have one next week for you guys. But this week, we're going to start with Random Rant, Regional Roundup, same BS, different week. But Ace, you got something interesting here about Mr. Josh here that you want to talk about. He has certain thoughts on MLB pitchers cheating. So that'll be our clip of the week. Ace will dive headfirst into that. Hopefully you can understand him. And then because we never really got around to this last week, I kind of wanted to rehash it just because it's a decent talking point. We'll go through some of our best sports memories. Playing, watching, experiencing. It's all part of the
We didn't have any playing.
Do I?
Do we either of us have a moment? Just, no, I'm joking.
Oh, I mean, come on, bro. That's how we met on the diamond, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of diamonds, so I went to my first Brewers game of the season, and it was absolutely fantastic. Because it wasn't 100%. Well, actually, no. Most importantly, it was great to be back in the seats, even though it's no longer Miller Park. It's American
Family Insurance Field.
We'll just call it where the Brewers play. But no, it was awesome experience. It was great. Lots of beer, tons of sunlight, tailgating, all the good stuff. Had my first ballpark Frank. Again, those are delicious, good times. But what I wanted to talk about was the MLB Ballpark app. So this is so random, I know, but so these tickets weren't mine. There was someone in my company's, and they just sent out like a generic email to both locations of our company. So I'm like, oh man, there's no way I'm going to get these. Anyway, long story short, I get the tickets, but not physical tickets. They're like, well, just give me your phone number. And I'm like, what the hell? And she was able to transfer all of the tickets and the parking pass right to my phone. So I didn't, she did come up and we did talk for a bit, but honestly, had I known how to use this app, like it has everything in there. Like for my parking pass, boom, scan it. And we go through security on my tickets. Boom, 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 boom. Scan everybody. They're all behind me. Go in. You're good. If you want to look up stuff that's in like the ballpark, which I had not been there in 2 years, right? So obviously, I want to know what's near me. If you type in your section and exactly what you're looking for, they will show you where things are in the stadium. So like section 215, if I was looking for craft beer and peanuts, it would highlight areas in the ballpark that had that. And that's like, I don't know. I just thought that was super cool. Like, I mean, I've sent tickets, I've transferred tickets and been transferred tickets, but never that quickly or that easily. So that was pretty cool to me, actually.
Imagine betting. Imagine being able to open that same app and placing a bet in a handful of years. I bet it would be a similar experience.
I mean, I don't know why you would bet with that as opposed to like FanDuel or anything, or like DraftKings when you already probably have money in those accounts to work with.
The thought is it would be a similar premise when you're going into the game. You could literally go up to a ticket window maybe if you wanted or whatever the case. But did you end up going to a place near you, or did you happen to like zoom out to feel like, oh, I haven't been to this section before. I'd like to try something over here. How was it for searching?
It was actually pretty intuitive. I mean, we had really, really good seats, but also everything was very close and nearby, so we didn't really have to go. We didn't really have to go anywhere to find anything, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know.
What he's forgetting to tell us is that he actually had it all brought to them.
No. You know better. You know I'm too cheap to pay for that service charge. I'm too cheap to pay for that service charge. Alrighty. Keep her moving. All right. Regionally, let's start with your stuff because I'm a little too upset at the moment to talk about my stuff.
Well,
I guess all you have to say is the Wild, I guess.
Well, no, it's like rinse and repeat. The same. You can at least have highs and lows. It seems like Minnesota sports fans are always just sort of like, whatever. I mentioned the Wild have been out last week, so they're not even.
Oh, that's true. That's not even a thing. No. Well,
they're out of the picture. Golf. Nobody from the state of Minnesota is doing well in golf. I'm just going to completely skip over the Twins. The Saints are home. Saints have a long ass homestand in St. Paul, so go check them out. Minnesota United. What are they doing soccer wise? I'm not 100% sure. And then you got the Twins. Which I don't need to dive into them too much. We play the Yankees yesterday, and then we have a 3-game series with them ending Thursday tomorrow, and then the Astros come to town. But I'm gonna have some stats ready, I think, next week for the Twins, but we gotta be last in relief pitching ERA, as well as just blowing leads in general. We gave up another blowing lead or a tie game in the 8th inning again to the Yankees. It was 3-3. We lost 8-4 after the 8th. So go exactly, rinse and repeat. But I'll get into more of that too with the clip of the week, because I think Josh Donaldson, as John alluded to, had some pretty interesting remarks regarding pitchers cheating, and he actually called out one in particular who's supposed to be pitching for the Yankees against the Minnesota Twins tonight. Their ace, Garrett Cole. But Garrett Cole had kind of an awkward little interview yesterday, but in response to that, Josh Donaldson sort of buried a bunch of different pitchers, including, him and Trevor Bauer being his number one researcher kind of behind all this stuff. So more to come on them. Now, how about them Bucks?
All right, Brewers, so we'll do Bucks. I felt this before. You talk about rinse and repeat. This has been the feeling. The Bucks, they go through the regular season. Oh shit, this team looks fantastic. Maybe a slow start in the playoffs. Game ones have historically been a little difficult for them to kind of get that strong foot going forward in the series. I don't know. This is completely different, though. This is a team we've never had to guard a Kevin Durant. Kawhi, sure, that was terrifying. But now you have the triple threat. Oh, wait, scratch that. You only have a double threat. Harden's not even in these games. He was there for the tip-off in Game 1, was out seconds later, ruled out for Game 2. Also is going to be ruled out for tomorrow's game, Game 3. So this is really, really dire situation. I remember when I was telling you that Bud is so scared of losing that he wanted to keep his players in. It's because of scenarios like this to avoid. Because if he loses the grip on a series this quickly, it gets out of hand. Because this is the turning point, right? So the Nets are in a position where they don't even have to play Harden if they don't want to. They at absolute minimum, Game 3 they don't have to play him. Game 4 they can play as it goes.
He's not healthy. People think he's not coming back this series. There's no chance he is. Maybe Game 7 if it gets to that, but he ain't coming back.
The thing is, that like I said, they're not in the position where they don't even have to worry about that right now, right? That's not even. He might have a full week of rest coming up. We don't know, but just watching the second team for the Nets just outplay the first team for the Bucks, 2 games in a row, and then obviously KD is gonna get his, Irving's gonna get his. But, watching Blake Griffin look like he's back on the Clippers, dude is just jamming on people. He's threw up a double-double Game 1. Are you kidding me? This is not, the fans in Detroit are where the hell is this? Where has this been? They watched him and just never really come back to that form. But the floor is so open now. Like, the way that they're moving the ball and the way that second team is playing, because without Harden, that's a lot more minutes and a lot more shots and a lot more opportunities for the bench players. And they're relishing it. They're capitalizing on everything.
They got some depth. I didn't expect it, and I know that the second game was clearly, out of hand pretty early on in the second half. So, but at the end of the day, you're right. They're spreading the floor out and just saying, hey, we're going to attack you with our two studs, and then just kick it, drive and kick it to the open guy, more or less. And again, Giannis seems to be kind of getting over himself, a little eager with the ball sometimes, and just not letting shit come to him. And it's tough because Durant, like, in your eyes, who do you think like the best player in the league is? Because Durant has to be up there in terms of what he can do from inside and out, and just his length. I mean, he made a move against Giannis where Giannis had like pressured him, kind of forced him up a little bit. The dude did like a little jab, drove the middle or cut through the middle, and then just did a behind the back like alley, or not behind the back, but reverse like layup. Basically, it was unstoppable. I don't know. It's hard to beat somebody that literally is 7 feet tall, as tall as this, and can dribble, drive, can shoot the three, lights out. I mean, top three. He's got to be one of the top 3 players in the league.
I don't even want to comment on that. Like, I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious. Like, to go on a rant and say like Kevin Durant's a top player, like, sure, but that's not why we're losing. Like, he had 32 points. Like, he was definitely a force in that game, no doubt. But the rest of his team shooting lights out from beyond the arc, the rest of his team having open looks, the rest of his team getting better rebounds and playing better in the paint, like that's what I'm worried about. And the fact that this is without arguably their best scorer, like I don't know. It's really hard to get excited, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we're back in Milwaukee. You can reset the series, take care of business at home, and then it's a best of 3, right? So,
yeah, game 1, just win this game.
I don't know, but like the last 2 games, like, have just been really heart-wrenching shit. Like, it's really hard to watch, and it's such a slow. Like, game 2 is such a slow bleed. Like, in the first 3 quarters of game 1, it's like, okay, you know what? Like, we're outmatched, but I mean, I think they can go on a run. They can play some defense. But the Nets are just getting so much better looks. I know that the field goal percentage doesn't. I mean, well, the 3-point field goal percentage definitely shows it, but overall, it doesn't feel like there's a huge disparity. But like, if you're trying to do the eyeball test, 100% there is. Like, you're seeing open, beautiful looks. You're seeing much better ball movement. You're seeing stronger every phase they're beating them, every phase. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Budenholzer in the playoffs, but this is the team. I think this is the one that has like the depth. And we're talking about the role players. You're talking about Bobby Portis. You're talking about Tucker. You're talking about those vets that found their place. They found their rhythm. They found their calling. Bryn Forbes, who's had a fantastic playoff experience himself. But
they'll get that at home too.
I think if they can win this game, it might be able to turn things around, but I don't know. It's hard, man. I mean, 0-2 is a big deficit, especially to a team that can seemingly score at will. So it'll be interesting. I'm hopeful, but I mean, honestly, it feels although what the top trending word was on social media after this game, the game 2?
What?
Embarrassing, or a variation of it.
Oh,
Bucks are an embarrassment. This is the most embarrassing thing we've seen. Like, just Bucks should be embarrassed to go on the court. Like, all of those variations of that phrase was circulating the social media world. So, I don't think it can get much worse. But on the flip side, we were talking about the Brew Crew, number 1 in the NL Central, my friend. Yes, that is your Milwaukee Brewers. They've won 9 of 10. They got 2 sweeps in there. They split with I believe it was the Tigres. I mean, I know I was ragging on you getting all excited about the sweeping the Orioles, but the Diamondbacks are basically our equivalent of that. So, we got 4 games from Arizona. Split with the Tigers, swept the Nats. So, I mean, things are looking really good. People are starting to get healthy. The runs are coming. I mean, I know I was complaining about it for a while, but the runs are coming. And I got to watch Corbin Burns, so I mean that's pretty exciting. Got to watch those luscious locks. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pay attention to baseball, but now it's like, okay, well the Bucks are kind of winding down. It's like, well, maybe I should pay a little more attention to it. Not to mention, it's always easier to watch when you're on a winning streak, right?
Oh, I forgot to mention this. It is more expensive to go to a AAA Saints game than it is to go to a professional league Minnesota Twins game today. Right now, as we stand, I was looking at tickets to either one of them. Isn't that sad? And it's about $10, $15 more too. We're not talking like a couple bucks. That's pretty embarrassing when the Twins are playing the Yankees and the Astros this weekend. How is that? How does
that's half of our sponsorship money right there. Gone. Boom. Cancel the show. We're out of biz. All right, so there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Not regional. I just saw this on my phone, and I was like, what the hell? So I got a push notification from our overlords at ESPN. It says, our wonderful boy.
Yes, overlords.
Mr. Alabama, Mr. Saban, he's extended through the 2028 season. So, first of all, I mean, obviously he's gonna go down as. I mean, is there a better college head coach for football? Is there anyone possibly that comes to mind?
Who was the coach before him for Alabama? The way before him.
You put me on the spot, aren't you?
Oh my God, he's like a genius. Like Bo Schembler, no, whatever. Bear Bryant. Yeah, maybe besides those two, Mecca. I don't know.
All right. Well, right now, Nick Saban is probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, concerning what he did for 2 different schools, I mean, it's going to be hard. Anyway, so this is what the notification said: base salary and talent fee of $8.425 million for the current contract year will increase annually throughout the length of the deal. So not only is he extended for 7 more seasons, but his salary, as already the highest paid coach in college football, is just going to go up. Increase annually. Like I didn't realize. I guess I never put a number on it.
Oh my!
Like
God.
How much he was making, but like, damn. Like, all right, and not to mention that, but it's like they have no quarrels with just giving him an extra 7 years. Like that's a pretty good situation. Like that's why I'm kind of confused. Like why, what?
How old is
I mean, you have to try to play in the NFL, right? But he came back, right? Didn't he coach He coached the Dolphins, didn't he?
For 1 year, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
A couple of years. It was the whole Culpepper Breeze situation. I think it was they ended up signing Culpepper as opposed to getting Drew Brees in there.
Sure.
Under him.
Sure. I mean, Miami Dolphins. Yep. 2005, 2006. So, I mean, when you have it set up so well that you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want at all times, I mean, that's...
Yep.
I hope he does. I don't root for Alabama in any way, shape, or form, but you have to respect what he's done. Kind of like with Brady. Like you're like, okay, well, you have to respect the greatness. Like the numbers are there. You can't really argue it at this point. 7 national championships.
Hands down the best organization probably in all of college football ever.
Yeah, you can't argue it. His win percentage is 797. Like he's right under. He's like 5 games away. He'll probably break it this year. He's 200. He's 256 and 65-1. So decent, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I mean, the guy's set for life, and I mean, clearly now even he can coach as long as he wants to. I'm sure someone will give him a job.
Yeah, or just go into like consulting.
That's the
Consult
dream, right?
the university. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be immortalized there. He'll have a statue there if they don't already. All right, so I've listened to clip of the week. I've heard you talk about it a little bit. He talks about cheating, but I maybe put some background, because I don't know what are they doing to cheat, you know. So why don't we set up the clip a little bit? So give us a little background.
Yes. So to set up the clip, news has been trickling out lately, and to be honest, like pitchers, and like using substances on the ball, old as time. Just like players trying to steal signs wherever they are, whether they're on the bases, looking through in the like whatever the case may be. This stuff has all been happening. It's only when one side, pitcher batter, gets such a complete advantage that you're going to see players usually come out and speak against it if they can't change things. And Josh Donaldson being one of the main culprits, he's having an all right, albeit decent, injury prone season. But across the board, batting averages are at an all-time low, walks are up, hit by pitches are up, and this whole issue about pitchers increasing their spin rate, i.e. how much spin you can get on the ball with like fingers pressing up. There's weird ways to get ahead. Ultimately, when listening to this clip we're about to play, Josh Donaldson of the Twins sort of spoils that Trevor Bauer basically has done all the research in the ways legally you could try to increase the spin rate. No possible way. You have to use substances that are not legal. And what that means is you'll see players usually put like pine tar mixed with like sunscreen sometimes, or sunscreen mixed with some other stickier substance just to kind of hide it a little bit better.
Gross.
This particularly are more like even better of a surface to increase the spin rate. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know a company out in North Carolina sells like a specific brand that these teams are getting. So wow. Josh Donaldson sort of alludes like the lack of why you're seeing average, all that crap down in the MLB, and he thinks it's due to this.
All right, play it.
Yes, sir.
Play the clip.
My biggest suggestion right now, if you want to clean the game up, because this is going to be the next steroids of baseball ordeal, because it is cheating and it is performance enhancing. And the only way to get it through and to get it out of the game is if they get checked every half inning. If a new pitcher comes out, they get checked immediately by the umpire. And once they start doing that, it'll be gone. And you're going to start seeing offense come back into the game. You're going to see contact come back into the game. And a lot of these guys that are not as good as their numbers are saying will be out of the game. They'll be done. And that's where it should be, because guys are blatantly cheating, and it's really not even funny. You're talking about, and I think, ultimately at the end of the day, the head guy of all this pitching stuff, Trevor Bauer said that to get anything over 200-300 RPMs, and all that he's tested, the only thing to get there is by using these illegal substances.
Woo! Long-winded feller, but he had a lot of information, and he did call a couple people out. So it's a bold move these days, especially when anyone can hide behind a screen. This guy, he put a statement out. So that's a big cojones move, Muchos huevos.
I wish he'd taken onto the field, but that's another. It's going to be a blemish for a while, because you're seeing more and more of this. Like the St. Louis Cardinals, I don't know if you happen to see this either last week or the week before. One of these umpires went out to the mound and basically looked at the dude's hat. He had the substance on his hat, so he would like routinely go up there and like try to and it's like they do nothing to try to hide it now.
I mean,
Our own
honestly
pitcher
though,
guy-
like it seems like habit. Like in between pitches, like
Yep.
they're adjusting their cap, and like you don't really think
Correct.
anything of it. Like that's just part of the routine in between pitches. Like some people like pull on their shirt. Like there's always, I don't know if those are signals, if they're grabbing something under their jersey to wipe on the ball. I don't know, but
the thing that's sad.
it seems
sorry,
like there's treachery afoot. It's not good, man.
No, in MLB, they like until it gets to a breaking point, they don't get out in front of it. They let the media sort of dictate.
Oh, of course,
everything.
of course.
And it's a pain in the ass.
I
though,
lived through the
because it's like,
steroids era just like you did, bro. I remembered all that shit.
how old
That was
is-
terrible. Well, now that there's like criminal charges, we should probably do something about this. Yeah, no
Oh,
kidding.
God. Yeah.
So, you know what? I mean, I'm sure the numbers would back this up. It seems like pitching has been trending to a point where, you
Yeah.
have a lot of really good pitchers out there. Well, maybe they're not, like you said, maybe they're not all that their numbers are displaying. So,
The last thing I'll say, that TrackMan device that you see for golfers, the TrackMan simulator, that's what pitchers have been using recently to, like, when they're throwing, they're checking out the spin rate, same way as a golfer wants to check out their spin rate, in a way. It's pitchers, that's how they can get ahead now, I guess. I don't know.
not us. We're doing our jobs daily. No cheating. By the book. All right. Well, that is interesting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of that coming up later. I mean, if you're gonna drop a bomb like that, there's got to be some sort of follow up by someone somewhere. But all right. So let's go back to simpler times, right? We're not old. We're not decrepit. Our knees don't crack when we get out of bed. 7, 8 years old. You get your gloves. You get your pants on. You get your bat, your ball cap. You're going out to baseball practice. You're thinking of the simple times, the good memories, the good old days. As a child, do you have any some of the best sports memories as a spectator or a player? Do you have anything like from your younger years that you remember that like, the first thing that pops into your head, you're like, oh my gosh, like that was pretty cool. Anything out there?
There's a couple that stand out. I got a triple play. I turned a triple play on the bases were loaded and I was playing second base. I think I honestly remember parts of the play in the field. Like I could literally show you the field we were at, but in terms of like remembering everything, I defer to my dad. But happy birthday, by the way, Dad. It's his birthday.
Heartbeat.
So it was a triple play. I stepped on second, tagged the guy, and threw to first to get him out. So I think I was 5 at the time, which is pretty incredible. My dad was saying.
I'm picturing you just going, whoa, laying out for a ball at 5 years old.
So no, it was a line drive. It was a line drive. I do remember that.
Nice.
The other one, I hit a grand slam. There was no fence at this field. I was young also. No fence at this field. It was up the middle and just kept going. Like it got past one guy, so I guess probably an error, but we didn't even keep track of errors, honestly, at that point. But he didn't even touch the ball either. It just, like, the ball just kept going because it was cement out there. So,
Count
I've never
it.
had a legit over the fence home run, but I used to get like 1 or 2 of those randomly.
It's all about the ribbies, man. It's all about the ribbies.
What about, tell me a younger moment?
A younger moment. So, actually, I think they're both baseball related too. So way back when, my first like taste of beer ever was at County Stadium at the Brewers game. And I don't know why, but as a child, I was incredibly stupid and curious. I guess most children are. I was like, well, it's just Dad and I was like, can I have a sip of your beer? Can I try your beer? Can I taste it? Whatever I posited to him, and I don't know why, but it was a summer day, beautiful, and I had a sip of the suds with my pa back at County Stadium, just watching the Brewer game.
Aww.
Could not have been more than 7 or 8 at the most. So,
Oh, Jesus.
Respect, Papa.
Yeah.
The other one also baseball related. So I lived in I've lived in the Midwest majority of my life, but we did live in Florida for about 4-ish years. Moved down there, and then when I came back, I hadn't really played organized sports because, I didn't really know anybody, but whatever. My mom signed me up for baseball, whatever. It wasn't like it wasn't like a huge league or anything. It was just organized, sports during the summer, just to kind of play. But I was having a really, really rough day at bat, right? Like a really rough day. Like it was 0-3. It was not going well. But it was 1-1, and my last at bat, I just launched the mother. I just launched the thing. I split the outfield, 2 runs in, we win the game, and the funny thing is that I don't think I ended up finishing the summer in that league, but like they're like, if you keep hitting like this, we're gonna move you up to the next level. Like whatever that may be. They literally like pulled me aside. Like if you can keep doing that, like we will promise you'll go far. But I'm like,
promote you to the AAA squad.
I prefer football, so I'm not gonna do this. So, but that was really cool.
What was your best sport? What sport do you think you were the best at?
I was aggressively I was aggressively medium at everything. Honestly, the sport I loved to play the most was probably basketball, believe it or not. The sport that I loved, like, I don't know, probably watching and playing combined, like, I was most obsessed with baseball for the longest time, because that's what I started playing first. Started with T-ball when you're like a little kid, and you grow up, and it's so cool, I mean, because they're really smart about it, right? They market it, so like your jersey, like, ooh, I'm playing for the Rangers, but it's just a T-shirt, Eventually you get a jersey, but as like a little kid, you're just wearing a T-shirt with a Rangers hat. So I was like the Rangers, but then like, when you get a little bit older, before you can start playing tag, you're playing like flag football. Then I was the Broncos, I played a ton of soccer. Soccer I really liked too, actually. Soccer was really fun.
That was my favorite growing up.
But I don't know, as like a spectator moment, I think obviously I got to see 2 Super Bowl wins. Not trying to hurt your feelings, but those were like really, really big things in my life too. I was
there. Sorry, I was there for the Rodgers Super Bowl. That was being in Milwaukee for that was pretty unreal scene.
Yeah, it was. That was a rough night.
Yeah,
because the Super Bowl was over at like 9:30. I'm like, oh well, time to get in trouble. No, that was a lot of fun. But I think that's the nice thing about sports, right? Is it kind of unites everybody. It kind of brings everyone together. You have a shared enemy, a shared goal, a shared experience, and that's why no matter what, I try to get my butt in a seat. If that's gonna be my thing for 2021, it's getting my butt in a seat. Like I want to go to concerts, I want to go to games, I want to go to whatever. I want to have experiences as opposed to possessions, I think. And that's what sports gives you both. If you want to do both, you can. But I would take the experience, even if it's a horrible, horrible loss. Which I went to a Packer game and they lost 35-0, and it was absolutely brutal.
Oh,
I've also been to a game where they won 52-7. So, like there's every game in between. But like those experiences, those are. I don't know. I think that's the best part about sports. Another reason why I kind of wanted to do the show, too. Why did I do the show? So I can talk about it with my boy. My shared experiences with my lad.
Oh, God.
Look at that.
Tearjerker here as we...
All right. Adult life. I had the Super Bowls. What is the biggest moment in sports that you've played, experienced as an adult, do you think?
Oh, my God. I hesitated to bring this up, but screw it. I was at the Metrodome for the Twins' final game ever at the Metrodome, which is they played the Yankees, oddly enough, in 2009, and it was a playoff game. We got swept. Go figure. Probably the last time we might have actually. No, I don't think we won a game in that year. So yeah, we got swept. 2009, we sat up in the right field bleacher seats, and if there used to be enough, like more than a certain number of fans, they would open up the rafters to some of those sections. This was one of the few times they opened up. So basically there were banners. There used to be banners down for the Twins games because when football was played there, everything was up, curtains, whatever. They'd pack it in. Twins, you didn't need that many fans in the stands. Still, 40 plus thousand. This was an electric game. We kind of like, it's sort of a weird memory because we lost the game, but it was just like bittersweet in a sense that like everyone, there's a lot of history with the Metrodome, as much crap as it gets.
Yeah.
But God, considering like rollerblade nights and all that crap that they used to do.
It was the end of an era, though. Either way, you were there to,
yep.
Say your piece, see you later, and sure.
Speaking of experiences, I definitely resonate well with that, where I don't know where it is. I missed all the moving and crap over the years, but I still have the ticket.
No kidding.
To that game somewhere, yeah.
All right. That's actually pretty neat. That's also something I do too. I try to save the ticket or stub, but the thing is now they're all digital. The last 2 times I went to the Packer game, I got digital tickets, but
yep.
I used to keep every ticket of every game, and that there's a good chunk of, The last memory that I will never forget until the day I die was getting Cal Ripken's autograph. So I mentioned that I lived in Florida. And back then, they were the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah.
But they were at Tropicana Field, and my dad grew up in Baltimore, so he was a huge O's fan. Had a bunch of Ripken stuff, followed him since he was a kid, and it was his last time playing at Tropicana Field. Me being the spry young buck that I was, I squeezed past all the adults trying to get autographs, going through the crowd, and I get my arm out with a ball extended, and I have a beautiful Sharpie that he can sign it with. He does grab the ball, he does sign it, but he signs it with a shitty little blue pen.
Oh.
So I had no real attachment to him, so I gave the ball back to my dad. And it was like a vintage O's ball too, like with the old logo, old writing, everything. And so Ripken, he has it like in a ball case now, on a pedestal. So he has an autographed ball from his hero, but it's in blue pen. So yeah. But I mean, I couldn't stop talking about that for weeks. I was so excited. And my dad was so excited about it too. So that made it even better. And every time I go to visit, I go up into his man cave. There it is. It's cool, man.
I gotta imagine autographs are so much more different now, because you gotta, like, people have to have their phones out just to capture that moment, and that, like, the feeling of it. You don't get the, I don't know. It's just a.
It's not like that, and they regulate it so much. It's not going to be the same. Okay. It's really not going to be the same. So, fortunately, I have a couple people that are always on the lookout for stuff. So, that and honestly, you can just buy it. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you could acquire stuff like that, but maybe a topic for another show. I'm not sure on the legality either. It's like 100% gambling for the most part, but
agreed.
Cool. All right. Well, that was a nice little trip down memory lane. I got to learn about Baby Ace making triple plays and is in the park homer.
That was that was the peak. If there was a climax to that athletic story, no.
Nothing wrong with that, buddy. Nothing wrong with that. All right, that is our episode this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We truly, truly appreciate it. Ace especially. Look at him. He's got tears. They're all pixelated. You can't really see him, but there's tears.
I was going to say, how much can you deal with this?
It's good stuff. All right. Like I said, we do appreciate you guys. The best thing you can do for us to support us right now is to rate, review, share, whatever you can do. Spread the word. We love recording, and the more people listening, easier it makes it on us. And eventually, once Ace gets those T-shirts in, then we can start getting those to people too. So, again, have a fantastic weekend. Oh, I was supposed to say that. I'm so sorry.
Spoiler. No, yeah.
Spoiler. Merch be coming, basically. Mm-hmm. But take it easy, everybody. Ace and Johnny here as always. We'll be back next week, but for right now, what are we, Ace?
We out.
We out. Take it easy.
That's the show for this week. Check out Armchair Analyst on Twitter at AA Podcasts, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. If this wasn't enough, be sure to check out armchairpodcast.com for more. See you next week.